Watch these 7 Star Trek Discovery and Strange New Worlds episodes to truly understand Captain Pike. In only one season of Star Trek Discovery and 2 of Star Trek Strange New Worlds, Anson Mount's Captain Christopher Pike has already become one of the franchise's greatest captains. Viewers of Star Trek, the original series first met Captain Pike Jeffrey Hunter in the Season 1 two-part episode, The Menagerie, which reused footage from Star Trek's original unaired pilot, The Cage. The full episode of The Cage was eventually released, offering more insight into Pike's time as captain of the USS Enterprise. In Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Anson Mount breathed new life into Captain Pike, offering a more empathetic and immediately likable version of the character. Mount's take on Pike became so popular that Paramount Plus made him the lead of his own show, Star Trek Strange New Worlds, alongside Ethan Peck's Spock and Rebecca Romijn's Number 1. Even with his tragic future looming on the horizon, Pike maintains an attitude of hope and treats all of his crew members like family. He's a different kind of commander, but he still has the compassion, intelligence, and skills to equal Star Trek's greatest captains. Captain Pike hits the ground running in his first Star Trek Discovery episode, arriving on the USS Discovery and immediately taking command for a high-priority mission. Discovery's crew is leery of getting another new captain after Captain Gabriel Lorca and Jason Isaacs betrayed them. Pike, however, could not be more different than Lorca, and he acknowledges the understandable skepticism of the crew. When Ensign Sylvia Tilly Mary Wiseman accidentally puts Pike's file up on Discovery's view screen, Pike makes the most of the opportunity, introducing himself to the crew and laying out their mission. Pike takes the time to learn the names of his crew members and comes across as incredibly likable from the jump. Pike commands obvious authority, but also manages to be funny and down to earth. All in all, Brother does a great job establishing Pike's personality and revealing what type of captain he is. As Captain Pike and Discovery's crew investigate the mysterious red burst signals, they visit a distant planet that is home to a previously undiscovered human population. When Pike, Commander Michael Burnham, Sonequa Martin Green, and Lt. Joanne O'Second Oyen Oladeo beam down to the planet, they find a pre-warp civilization that practices a faith that combines several Earth religions. Pike strives to maintain General Order 1, later known as the Prime Directive, even at risk to his own health and safety. When a young girl picks up a phaser, Pike dives in front of the beam, taking the stun shot directly to his chest. Before Strange New Worlds gave us a confident, layered, and sometimes haunted Captain Christopher Pike, Star Trek Discovery laid the foundation for this modern reimagining of a classic Trek character. Once a footnote in the original series' unaired pilot, Pike is now one of the franchise's most compelling captains, thanks to nuanced writing and Anson Mount's magnetic performance. But Pike's story isn't just told in a straight line. His arc weaves through 2 different Star Trek series, and to really understand what makes this version of the Enterprise's early captain tick, his fear of the future, his deep belief in humanity, and his heartbreaking inner conflict, you need to watch select episodes from both Discovery and Strange New Worlds. These 7 episodes reveal the full range of Pike's character, leader, friend, philosopher, and man of destiny. Here are the 7 essential episodes you should watch to truly understand Captain Pike. 1. Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 1, Brother. Pike's entrance into modern Star Trek is nothing short of electrifying. Taking command of the USS Discovery in the wake of a crisis, Pike immediately establishes himself as a very different kind of Starfleet captain, open, empathetic, and grounded. Unlike Lorca before him, Pike earns the crew's trust quickly, not through intimidation or secrets, but through transparency and mutual respect. Brother isn't just an action-heavy season opener. It lays the groundwork for Pike's core traits, his unwavering morality, his desire to lead through collaboration, and most critically, the seeds of the traumatic knowledge he will soon face regarding his future. It's our first modern look at the man who will go on to become a fan favorite. 2. Star Trek Discovery Season 2, Episode 12, Through the Valley of Shadows. This is the turning point. Pike visits the Klingon monastery on Boreth to retrieve a time crystal, but the price is steep. He must confront a vision of his own horrific fate. The episode delivers one of the most haunting scenes in modern Trek as Pike sees the moment he is maimed by a radiation accident, doomed to a life inside a mechanical chair, unable to speak or move. But what makes Pike exceptional is what he does next. He chooses it anyway. Despite the terror, he accepts the future because doing otherwise would betray everything he believes in. His moral courage here is staggering. This episode shows the depth of Pike's heroism, not the kind made of bluster or bravado, but the kind that walks knowingly toward pain for the greater good. 3. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 1, Episode 1, Strange New Worlds. By the time Strange New Worlds begins, Pike is struggling with the knowledge of his future. He's isolated himself, visibly weighed down by his grim fate. But this episode shows him choosing hope again. Called back into action, Pike reclaims his role as captain of the Enterprise, but not before wrestling with the fear that his looming destiny might cloud his judgment. His decision to return isn't framed as triumphant, it's introspective, mature, and complicated. Strange New Worlds also reintroduces a classic optimism to Star Trek, and Pike is the perfect character to channel that spirit. A man burdened with knowledge of doom, yet still able to lead with warmth, curiosity, and kindness. 4. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 1, Episode 10, A Quality of Mercy. In the Season 1 finale, Pike gets a glimpse of what would happen if he tried to change his fate. The result is a masterful homage to the original series episode Balance of Terror, with Pike's more diplomatic approach shown to escalate into interstellar conflict. This episode does what few Star Trek stories dare. It challenges the idea that compassion is always the best path. Pike's unwillingness to sacrifice a cadet in the present causes a war in the future. As much as we admire Pike's ideals, this what-if story shows us that sometimes tragedy must occur to preserve peace. It's devastating, and it's necessary. Pike must accept that his fate is not just tragic, it's essential to the survival of others. The moment he returns to the present with full knowledge of what he must do, he does so not with rage, but with silent, accepting grief. Few Star Trek characters have ever shown this level of internal strength. 5. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 3, Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. In this time travel-heavy episode, Pike plays a smaller role, but his impact looms large. When Layan Noonien Singh is sent to the past to prevent a temporal catastrophe, her return to the present is marked by a deeper understanding of her place in the timeline, and Pike's too. While the episode is about La'an's growth, it highlights how Pike's leadership indirectly inspires others to confront their own destinies. We see Layan quietly grappling with Pike's burden, and by the end, she shows a level of emotional maturity that mirrors the captain she admires. Pike doesn't need to be in the spotlight to shape others. His influence is persistent, subtle, and profound. 6. Star Trek: Strange New Worlds Season 2, Episode 8, Under the Cloak of War. This episode tests Pike's leadership more than almost any other, and it does so through silence and implication. When the Enterprise takes on a Klingon ambassador who was once a brutal general during the war, tensions simmer, especially for Dr. M'Benga, who carries deep trauma. Pike tries to foster,